All right, so listen, Gunther took out Jey Uso last night, 2 nights ago, actually, at this point, in the main event of Monday Night Raw. Do I love the decision? No. I mean, I'm a Jey Uso fan. I'm also a Gunther fan, or a Gunther fan. I just don't love the way that they transition these championships. I would have loved for it to have been on Money in the Bank. But at the same time, just like when Rhea lost her championship, it happened on a random Monday Night Raw, and it made it more exciting, more impactful, more like, oh, anything can happen, right? So I understand where they were coming from with that, right? But that's not my main issue with this title change. The issue I have isn't the title change at all, actually. The issue I have is the way that the last 3 World Heavyweight Champions or Raw Champions have been booked. That's including Gunther. That's including Damian Priest to an extent. I think he had a pretty good run. Actually, I think Damian Priest had the best run out of the last 3, well, including him, WWE World Champions, right? Here's my biggest issue with those runs and how they were booked. Whether it's Jey Uso, Gunther, or Damian Priest, all of those runs were about people who had ancillary feuds. Whether it was Damian and being stuck in the middle of Punk and Drew, and to an extent Seth. Gunther being stuck between Damian and Finn and not really having much of his own storylines. Gunther disappeared for a minute. Sometimes Gunther would felt like Gunther would disappear for like months at a time. When you get to Jey Uso is stuck in the middle of with Seth and the Visionaries, with the Sethersons are doing right now. It seems to be a consistent thing that the Raw Champions booking is the centerpiece of someone else's feud. They never really have their own long-term story, right? Their long-term feud. When Gunther first won the championship, I believe he went right up against Sami Zayn right after that, right? And he also went right up against Randy Orton. Those are 2 feuds, or those are 2 matches or build-ups that were about Gunther and his title reign and getting revenge, so to speak, on the people who had beaten him before, or in Randy's case, someone who he didn't really beat because Randy's shoulders weren't down, right? So those are 2 Gunther things. When Gunther actually won the championship, it was won in part because of Finn. And then when Damian and Gunther had their rematch, it was Gunther won in part because of Finn. And then after that, Finn hits a coup de grace on Gunther, and then Gunther, Damian, and Finn were in a triple threat. Now, here's what I'm not saying. Those matches were fire. All those matches were dope. Moving on to Jey Uso, like I was saying before, he wins the championship. Seth wins the main event at WrestleMania, fire match. One of the highlights of that WrestleMania 41 that is. And it's kind of like Raw is about Seth, and it's not about the champion that you have right now. And I know a lot of people, well, you can't really book Jey Uso because he's limited as a wrestler, blah, blah. This is an ongoing issue between 3 different champions, right? Whenever I hear someone say, oh, they weren't a good champion, the first thing I look at is the booking, because creative is responsible for how these talents are presented. Now, you can be all out there like Chelsea Green, who's great at putting herself in front of the camera and making sure that we remember her. She is phenomenal at that. And then her performance in the ring and her performance as a comedic act as well as a wrestler. If you haven't seen her match against Pentagon in Lucha Underground, please go see it if you don't think that she can go, because she can go. But a lot of the time, the talent is at the mercy of creative. So it's not Gunther's fault that his run was quote unquote boring, which is what I'm seeing a lot of people say now. And it's not Jey Uso's fault that his run was lackluster. And I'm a Jey Uso fan. But is his title run memorable? No, because it was always about someone else, right? Even when he went up against Logan Paul, it became about John Cena and trying to elevate Logan Paul, right? So these last 3 Raw champions have been about somebody else. And what I would love to see for Gunther is for Gunther to finally get the matches that he deserves. He was messing around with Alpha Academy. He was never put up against, other than Randy Orton and Sami Zayn, 2 wrestlers I really respect, he was never put up against the likes of Seth or Punk or Drew or Roman or any of those top tier talents when Gunther himself is a top tier talent. The memorability, I don't even know if that's a word, how memorable your run is only as good as the storylines that are being told and your opponents. And now I see that he won the champion. People are talking about, oh, I'm so, mad that he won because Gunther is so boring. Gunther is not the boring one. The booking is the boring one, right? I remember when Braun Breaker won the Intercontinental Championship and disappeared. Yo, look at Io Sky. She has not defended her championship since Mania. That's crazy to me. What do you guys think? Am I off? Am I on? Like, I know people, oh, Jey Uso, he's just a yeet guy, the catchphrase. I'm so happy he doesn't have a championship anymore, bro. The fans love him. Same thing with Gunther. Oh, Gunther, he's so boring, blah, 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 blah. Before WrestleMania, I remember everybody's like, you're going to make him lose to the Yeet Man? Gunther should remain champion. He should retain, blah, 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 blah. But now that he's won it back, oh, he's so boring, blah, blah, blah. Y'all need to make up your mind, please. But anyway, that's my thoughts on Gunther winning the championship back. By the way, amazing match. Phenomenal match. I just wish it was on a bigger stage. But I understand, like I said in the beginning, sometimes you just got to have a random title change on a Monday Night Raw. And this is one of them. So, yeah. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys next time.